great, isn't he? Thank you. Thank you, I'm very lucky. He's a very active support for me. I also want to thank all you here tonight and your energized and active people. And thank you for taking the time and energy to be part of this important process. I also want to thank our Evolution, Bernie Sanders group, for endorsing our campaign and believing in our progressive message, our grassroots effort to get big money out of politics, and helping us prove that we can win a statewide race only taking small donations. And like his campaign in 2016, our campaign is about raging a revolution where we stand up and say loud and clear that government belongs to all of us, not just a handful of millionaires and billionaires. And if we can't do it today, then when? And if we can't do it here in Minnesota, then where? It's time to unite our voices and carry on revolution of change. It's time we get big money out of politics once and for all. It's time we embrace big, bold ideas. It's time, it's our time. It's time to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. It's time we join the rest of the industrialized nations and pass single-payer health care, Medicare for all. Because health care is a fundamental right, not a privilege. The ACA was a step forward, but we need to go further. I know what it's like as someone self-employed to search for plans on Medicare and experience the reduction of choice and increase in costs over the years. I know what it's like as a small business owner to search for plans to cover employees and figure out how to pay and administer the health care. With single payer, everyone will benefit. Everyone will be covered. Businesses won't have to pay for it, and we will be free to work and not worry about losing our health care. It's time we increase all wages and pass a $15 minimum wage. It's time to fix crumbling infrastructure and create more high-paying jobs. It's time to protect and support our unions. It's time for equal pay for equal work to be more than just a slogan, but to be made a reality. In order to have an economy that works for everyone, we need to support and fully fund our public schools. It's time to fully fund special education and mental health programs, smaller class sizes, and make sure all children have access to good schools, regardless of race, economic status, or where you were born. My sister has been a teacher for 20 years in Burnsville Public Schools. We speak regularly about the challenges in her classroom. While she buys her supplies out of pocket, she does not complain about it. Her main concern is that they keep cutting back teachers' aides and special education assistants and programs that help her students. And equal access to education should not stop at high school. It's time we make sure that everyone who wants to get a higher education can get one regardless of income level. It's time to support free tuition for public universities and trade schools and to support apprentice programs. It's time to expand Pell Grants and work study through the federal government. It's time to expand existing debt forgiveness programs and create ones designed to end the student debt crisis. It's time to enact common sense gun safety laws, to ban assault weapons, to increase background checks. I grew up in a hunting family, and I took gun safety when I was in 5th grade. I'm not trying to take guns away, but let's pass laws that we can all agree on. Let's make it more difficult for a frustrated teenager to get an assault rifle and bring it to school. Enough. It's time to increase high-quality mental health services and include those services in Medicaid coverage, especially for our vets. My father was a Vietnam vet, and I advocated for him at the VA. We need to improve that system. Our vets are some of the most vulnerable to experience PTSD. Let's make sure they have proper mental health care they need. It's time to protect Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. It's time to make prescriptions, drugs, and medical devices more affordable, which will require us to revise the patent laws. As a patent attorney, I know how and where to make amendments that will actually make some change there. If we want to see real change, we need to get big money out of politics, finally. It's time for public funding for campaigns, and to end corporate money in politics, and to finally overturn Citizens United. It's time to lower the amount of donations per person, because when a CEO and his spouse donate $10,800 to their campaign, they have the same expectations as the corporation does. My campaign is not taking corporate PAC money, and we have asked only for small individual donations to allow all people to participate and feel included. Because if you want to get money out of politics, you have to do something. You have to vote for someone who actually is trying to get big money out of politics. We need to work together to save our planet, protect our water, and our parks. It's time to end fossil fuel subsidies and shift the incentivize to renewable energy and support wind and solar power. It's time to oppose the polymet mining project, dangerous pipelines, and hydraulic fracking. It's time to keep our water clean, protect our lakes, rivers, and groundwater. I've been fighting for environmental issues my entire life. I just didn't start talking about them because it was politically advantageous. In the early 1990s, I went to St. John's University and graduated with a biology and environmental science degree. I was awarded an honors distinction for my work in the study of environmental impact of a wastewater treatment plant on our campus lakes. In law school at the University of Minnesota, I started the environmental clinic. In business, I have supported organic farming. And I will bring my education experience in science, law, and business to these issues. And finally, it's time we end institutional racism in our criminal justice system. It's time to require always-on police cameras, to demilitarize the police, and to ban for-profit prisons. It's time for automatic voter registration and get rid of voter suppression schemes. It's time for a short, clear pathway to citizenship, to protect DACA, and support human rights for refugees. It's time to end the married on Saturday, fired on Monday, oppose religious freedom laws designed to curb the rights of the LGBT community. I came out as a gay man my sophomore year in the 1990s at a Catholic university. And you met my husband, John, who gave a wonderful speech and introduction here tonight. And we have been fighting for civil rights and working to end racism and homophobia our entire lives. I intend to continue that work in the Senate and do everything I can so others will not experience the hate and discrimination we've had to endure over the years. We have a lot of work to do, but the only way we can do it is by mobilizing and doing something. We need to do more than just complain. We need to do action. We need to get work done. We need to stay united. We cannot allow the Trumps of this world to divide us. They want to split us up by men versus men, black versus white, gay versus straight, Christian versus Muslim, born in this country versus not born in this country. We need to stay united and work together. I am the true Minnesota progressive, and I've been one my entire life. I will bring my progressive voice to Washington and join Bernie Sanders in his fight for real change. Remember, your Senate seat has a long history of progressive leadership. This is your progressive state. We need to keep it progressive. Remember Humphrey, Mondale, Wellstone, and even Franken. I am Nick Leonard, and I humbly seek your support, your consideration, and most importantly, I need your endorsement for United States Senate. I'd like to leave you with a quote from a line from an outstanding Broadway play, Hamilton. History has its eyes on you. So go out and be the change that you want to see in the world. Thank you very much.
your heart.